team aspect and playing and being a part of a team and just getting along with everybody and everything like that. But as far as career wise, I'm setting up businesses for him to be able to step into. So I'm not even caring about him being a professional athlete. That's like the last thing in my mind. If it happens, I mean, great, but I don't necessarily see that, and I'm not going to even put that in my thing. And I'm sad to hear that. And I know this is the case, that there are people that's all they got, man. Like running their football or basketball or whatever. That's their only way out.
Yeah, like I don't know if y'all have ever watched Last Chance U on Netflix, but it's a documentary. It's a docu-series. I just watched the second season, but it's about it's East Mississippi Community College, and it's the top football community junior college in America. So you see a lot of guys from Florida State and Alabama, Ohio State who get kicked out of school for one reason or another, and they end up there to go back to play there for a year, go back to a bigger school. But there was one kid there who was set to go to Florida State. He had offers from Florida State and Alabama, running back, and he got hurt. Got a concussion actually, and he was held out fighting the coaches. Didn't want to sit out, and they were like, "Sorry, we can't play you." Kid stopped going to class. He was losing scholarship offers. He ended up committing to West Georgia because those scholarships started falling away, and he was falling out with his coaches. And he said something that was really poignant to me. He was like, "Yo, you take away football from me, I don't want to do anything. That's all I know." He stopped going to class. He stopped like everything. Like he fell out with his coaches. Like his life fell apart because he couldn't play football. And you're right. For a lot of people, that's all they have.
Damn. On another note, I wish there was a place. Like, why do you have to go to class to play football? Like, I wish there was a place, guys, like another league, like a prep league or something. They could go just do that. Like this whole class, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, it is, and I'm glad you mentioned. We're gonna have to talk about that because I always say like there's a stigma. Like it's almost two different ends of the spectrum. Is when it comes to athletics, is we praise athletes, but at the same time there's a stigma that is attached to guys who are very good at athletics who don't take interest in academics, and rightfully so in this society. But my question is, should it really be that way? Because athletic genius to me should be celebrated as well as any other kind of genius that there is out there.
And the way we're doing it now, it's a charade, man.
Yeah,
these
absolutely.
schools, it's a charade, bro.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys, not even. God, okay.
Yeah, you're right. That's
I'm on the other. It's a charade, but to me, the charade that should be ending is like we should try to educate them. Like it shouldn't be false. Like you should have to do well in school. You should want them to learn something because the reality is they're gonna need it. So I think if we like the more situations where they're not taking advantage of the education that's put in front of them, like we're doing them a disservice, and that shouldn't be. Like we're missing the opportunity.
I say one thing on this. I know from firsthand experience. Like say for instance, University of Georgia. I just pull it from my hat, right? There's a lot of guys, bro. How can I say this in a short spell? They are not giving a damn about class. They're there. Yeah. And they're just it's a charade. They're in class. They got these. They sign up for these courses. They're doing enough to pass, but they're not reading anything. It's like they got other people doing their work for them. It's a I don't know another word for it. Yeah. This whole setup is just not. It's not what it seems. These schools, they bend rules to get guys in just so they can play the sport. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like I'm just saying. We should care about their education, but if they don't care about it, you can't force somebody to want to want to. Yeah.
We need to. We'll dedicate an entire time to this.
It's deep, man.
Yeah. All right. What I want to do, I want to jump into commercial break, and then we'll come back and talk some Justine Demond and some Stephen A. Smith. But yeah, we'll jump into commercial break. This is the Defy Life Podcast. We'll be right back with you.
Don't think your choice of tie matters when complimenting your suit? It does. It matters. Every good suit deserves a captivating tie from Thomas Allen Collection. With innovative designs sure to attract and capture everyone's attention, Thomas Allen Collection creates fashionable yet classic ties to accentuate your look for any occasion. Custom ties, classic looks, Thomas Allen Collection. When tying a knot really counts.
Visit thomasallencollection.com.
Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, brought to you by GoDefyLife.com. When we left off, we ended up talking about concussions and football and the future of the sport. And Keyonne mentioned something while we were pre-gaming before we came on air, was how the sport of journalism and reporting has changed. And that surrounding a question that Al posted earlier in the week, that Stephen A. Smith reported that Kyrie Irving, someone in LeBron James' camp, reported that if LeBron was at a point to where if he saw Kyrie Irving, he'd probably kick his ass. And of course, if you've been living under a rock, that is in response to Kyrie Irving requesting a trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers and how LeBron's feeling about it. So Al, you posed the question. What are your thoughts on that? What was your reasoning behind posing that question?
Well, I thought that was, when you think about this, the Kyrie Irving trade drama, and then the continuation of Cleveland Cavaliers' dysfunctional offseason, I think this played right along into that storyline. And it's a sense of, well, it's two things. I must admit, I am not a big Stephen A. Smith fan. And it has nothing to do with his opinions. It has nothing to do with his style. It's purely on instances of this right here. Okay. I hate, when it comes to the media, the thing that I hate most about the media is unnamed sources.
Wow.
And I hate it because while I know there's a reason behind it, and I get it, because you want people to share what's going on, and in many cases they would be putting themselves up in jeopardy if they had to put their name up. I get it. But what it has allowed, and I'm not saying this is the case in this instance, but what it has allowed is that there are people who just make shit up and just throw it out there under this name of unnamed sources. Your girlfriend's barber sixth customer happened to mention to me. You know what I mean? It's just some real garbage. And in this case, and there's been other cases where athletes have said that's not true. That's not true. And so if it's not true, somebody's lying. You know what I mean? Somebody's lying. And I wish it didn't just get brushed under the rug, but the liar, whoever it was, whether it was Stephen A. Smith, whether it was the source, or in this case, LeBron, whoever was the liar, I wish there was a way that they could be exposed for who they were, and so that we would understand who we're dealing with. Because in this case, both situations can't be true. Either LeBron said it or he didn't. And I wish we knew what was the case, because this is just crazy to me, real crazy to me. And I wonder how much of it, because I know, Stephen A. Smith is a brand right now. He's bigger than just this guy on TV. And all this does is fed into the pumping up of his brand. A lot more people, got to know who Stephen A. Smith was. And so I just wanted to throw it out there. I meant to mention it last week and forgot, because it says a story that is, over a week old. So that's where I was. That's why I threw it out
there. Yeah. Keyonne, I know you had some thoughts on that similarly. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's funny, Al. Me and you are actually in agreement. Not about the hate Stephen A. Smith part, but about the part where you said the source. Who is the source? So it's like me and Jay was talking right before the call and said the same thing. Is it the guy that's carrying LeBron's bags? Like, is it some guy that is just not even a factor? That is that the source? Like, there was a time in journalism, I heard these other guys talking about it earlier in the week on another show talking about there was a time in journalism where if there was an unnamed source, then the reporter would have to present that source to his editor or to his boss, and his boss would present it to his boss. So within that organization, they all know who the source is. They know who said it, and they know the context in which it was said. And then so that's a vetting process. And then the story gets okayed, and then they print it. But today, 2017, that's not the case. You can just, like I said, it can just be what you said, the fifth guy that sat in the seat of the barber or whatever. Some guy can say something, and you can run with it. And in this day and age, we are so hungry for information. We as a society, we just gobble it up. And if it comes out later it wasn't true, hey, it's just like we don't even care anymore. Yeah. it just moves on. So I'm totally with you on that. I hate the unnamed source too. Same thing with the Kaepernick thing. GM says, you know what I'm saying, is not holding these guys accountable for their statements. Put your name on it, or it shouldn't be reported, in my opinion. But it's so hot and it gets you so many clicks. I mean, yeah. I don't know, man. You know, so I'm with you. I hate it as well.
Yeah. What are your thoughts around the unnamed sources and all that rigmarole? He must be running routes right now.
But is the actual story even worth talking about though? Like, so let's take the story stuff aside. There's the fact that LeBron having hard feelings toward Kyrie, is that even worth discussing or not?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, I wouldn't doubt that LeBron may have said that in past. Like, somebody may have been having a conversation. LeBron may have said, "I'm out to kick his ass." Is that really a story though? You know what I'm saying? But like you said, with an unnamed source, you can run with that any way you want to run with it.
That's a story.
Exactly.
If your teammate, wait, if LeBron James, even if he's that angry, you know, and I get it, you know, it could have just been a moment in passing and he was that angry. However, if LeBron was that angry at Kyrie for wanting to leave, I do think that's a story. I do think that's worth. I would be interested in that and learning what prompted you to have that feeling that you want to do physical violence to your teammate. Like, I think that's a story.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, because I've been like, probably to each of you, like, probably been like, okay, like, you know, once a month, you know, if I see a typo in one of your articles, and I got to go back and correct it, I'm like, so now I'll kick Keyonne's ass for this shit. You know, like, is that really a story? Yeah, you know,
if there were 50 million people interested in Defy Life's content, yes.
Almost.
Well, Al, let me ask you this.
I think the world pays attention to LeBron.
Yeah.
I guess what he's saying, or what I'm taking it as, because how I feel, I'm actually in agreement with this idea that he says that, whether he said it or not, Kyrie walks into a room and it's just like, "What's up, man?" Whatever, and that's it. So he said it, but he's not going to actually do it. You know what I'm saying?
No validity to.
Yeah, like now LeBron actually swung on Kyrie, or he had to be physically restrained. I'm with you now, but that comment itself is just, like, I don't know, man.
Like, what way does, and considering, like, and I guess you throw on top of that, like, the unnamed source, so you don't know who said it, what, you know, if it was actually said in the first place by the source, if the source even exists, then you go a little deeper, like, did LeBron even actually say it? Then you go a little deeper and, like, if he said it, what context did he say it? Like, so it's so many levels. Like, is it really valid to me? And I get what you're saying. Like, in the masses, that some people are so hungry for information that, you know, me and Keyonne talked about this before the show. Is it's almost like it's more important to be first than it is to be right. And so you know, because if you're left out in the cold and you're the second person to report it, you have to give credit to the first person to report it. So it doesn't hold as much weight for you. Versus,
I'm good on the camera, so you ain't got to worry.
If it were actually, Pooh, go ahead.
I hate to intervene.